Are aliens the good guys, or are aliens the bad guys? Let's talk about alien abduction. The word abduction already just, has this negative force to it because it's a terrible situation for the person being abducted. So this phenomenon has been going on for years, and the abductee or experiencer, as they are called, the people that go through this situation or experience this, are abducted from their homes or from different locations and taken on their crafts, coming into contact with alien beings, and they are being basically treated like lab rats. In some cases, they are actually used to interbreed with aliens that almost look human, or it seems like the aliens are interested in their lower regions, if you know what I'm trying to say here. And they see almost always similar type of beings. You have the small grays, the tall grays, the mantis type beings.
Bless us, O Lord, for these gifts we are about to receive.
They're like praying mantis aliens. I don't know how else to put that, but yeah. Some people claim to come into contact with aliens that have human features, the Nordic aliens. They're tall, they have blonde hair, blue eyes. What I find strange about this is that you don't see any other races of human type aliens, like Latino, African American, or Asian. Some people also come into contact with reptile humanoid aliens or reptilians. So since 1961, which was the first widely publicized alien abduction case, humanity has been experiencing this. I just tried to find a logical explanation for it. So, of course, I hit the web, I checked it out, and it's really funny how almost all the paranormal experiences are classified as sleep apnea or some sort of sleep paralysis, where you're like in between sleeping and awake, and they say that that could be the cause of these experiences. Another thing I heard was that it has to do with our temporal lobe. Some people have sensitive temporal lobes, and there are vibrating waves of magnet waves or vibrating waves that affect our temporal lobe that basically cause those people that are sensitive to hallucinate. So they're just like naturally hallucinating because of vibrations that we cannot see, which is very trippy either way. So looking into this subject, right, I came across this question. I started asking myself, like, what are they doing? Are they good? Are they bad? What is the point of all this abduction? What's going on? I came to the conclusion that either way, any way you look at it, it's still abduction. Somebody's being taken against their will. And if they're being taken by intelligent, otherworldly beings, you're sort of screwed. You have no other option than to just take whatever they're gonna give you or do whatever they make you do. That bugs me. I mean, it really bugs me just to know, like, it just makes us almost weak and powerless. And online, you find a lot of mixed sort of ideas and beliefs that people have about aliens. Some people believe that aliens are here to help us, that aliens are here to guide us into a new era, that aliens are basically us from the future. I've heard that extraterrestrials are us from the future, and that's the little gray man that we're seeing, and that aliens are entities from other galaxies or other planets. Some of the cases that I looked at, the abductee at first was afraid, but then they got abducted so many times through their life that they end up sort of becoming accustomed to these abductions, and they become more friendly with their captor. Now, the first thing that pops into my mind when I hear somebody becoming more friendly with their captor would be sort of like Stockholm syndrome, where you get abducted and you end up falling in love, or you end up having a relationship, or you end up, becoming friends with the person that took you. If you're somebody that feels like they're being abducted by an alien or by aliens constantly in your life, what other choice do you have than to be okay with it? I think one of the greatest cases and the greatest ways to prove that these people are actually experiencing something is when there are mass sightings. I'm going to put a link down here to a mass sighting that I think happened in South Africa, if I'm not correct, in some part of Africa. And it was during a school day. These kids see this craft land in their playground, sort of behind the playground, and they see an alien walk out on the craft and look at them. And they said they could all hear the alien speaking to them through their mind. So say you wanted to fight off the aliens, right? Say you were like, nah man, I'm a black belt in judo. I will bust this alien's ass. I kind of thought about that for a second when I was looking at this, and it seems like there's not much you can do. I mean, in some of these cases, either they're getting taken out by people are being pulled out of their house. There was this one case where the husband and the friend of the person being taken saw them floating through the house, being pulled out by a light. Like, what do? You can grab them, but even if you grab them, if the light is pulling a person, if they're floating out of the house, being pulled by a light, that is just crazy. I mean, in another case, I heard that the aliens sort of came out of the shadows. I heard another case where somebody saw the alien just walk through the wall. Also, in a lot of these cases, people say that the aliens are talking to them telepathically. So who's to say, that if they have the power to talk to somebody telepathically, who's to say that they don't have the power to telepathically control your feelings or emotions or do anything? I mean, look, any way I look at this, I come to the same conclusion. Because some people have violent experiences, or they feel violated, or they're afraid, and they're always afraid when they get abducted, or they've been abducted only once and it was terrible. And then there's some people that seem to embrace it and enjoy it, and they feel like they learn from their experiences. But either way, people are being abducted. And to be abducted, I don't see how that could be a positive thing. Now, I tried to tell myself, well, maybe there's some good aliens, maybe there's some bad aliens. Which is, I mean, like humans, there's bad people, there's good people. I feel like it's messed up, and this could also be a reason why, if aliens do exist, that governments do not tell their citizens that aliens exist. This may be why they haven't come out to tell us that they're real. Because if they're taking people from their homes against their will, and they've been doing this since the 60s, imagine the backlash that is going to come to the government from the people that have been having terrible experiences with these entities. Imagine the government having to explain to people yeah, you've been abducted for the past 10 years and you've been, probed, and nobody believed this. You've been the psychologist. People think you're crazy when you tell this story, and we know this has been going on and we have no way to stop it. This could be one of the big reasons why the truth is not being revealed. If you have been abducted, or you feel like you've come into contact with, otherworldly entities, I would love to hear your story. Shoot me a comment down there, and maybe we could figure out a way so you could, send me a message or an email, and we can, talk about that. So you may be wondering why I'm looking into this stuff and why the channel has gone down this road of paranormal. I do plan on making other videos, maybe talking again about Argentina. Definitely, I'm going to talk again about Argentina. But I don't know, I'm just curious, guys, and I've always been curious about the paranormal, and I see that people really enjoy talking about it. But yeah, so like I said, I'm curious. But you know what they say, curiosity killed the cat.